Coming up on the live stream, President Trump holds a press conference where he repeats everything twice for no apparent reason. Coming up on the live stream, President Trump holds a press... Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. I am your Heavenly Father, Kevin Williams, and welcome to the club. We'll be looking at President Trump today, talking about coronavirus, because that's what's going on, and saying that, gosh darn it, it's all working out. Why? Because talented people, that's why. And repeating everything he says twice. During the election cycle, it came out that he had actually told somebody at some point that if you just repeat a lie twice, people will believe it. You can say any lie you want twice, and people believe it. And it's effective. Chat room was up and running. Casey, yo, the credits had you in them last time, and the system crashed completely just when I started the credits. So, today's episode is made possible by Casey, yo, and all of you other wonderful patrons, and we're going to try and make the credits. I was laughing out loud, and I didn't even know we weren't broadcasting anymore, and I was yelling at the microphone, "I'm sorry, Casey!" So we didn't get that through. This broadcast is made possible by viewers like you, specifically the ones who donate some money at kevinlyfather.com, or you can go to paypal.me/kevinlydad, and you help us out there. So any amount is great, and appreciate you all. So Casey will be featured later in the program. I just thought maybe I should just run the credits right now so Casey can see himself, because Casey has been a patron for a while now, and for whatever reason it didn't go into the credits properly. But I don't want to start it now because it could crash again. We've already had enough technical difficulties today. It looks like we're broadcasting just fine right now. Hi Danielle, hi Casey, hi Chris. Hey, Stephanie's there. Welcome, everyone. Let's get going with this. And a special hello to everybody watching out there who doesn't comment. We appreciate you guys as well. If you're watching, hi, Bev. If you're watching on Facebook, take a meander over to youtube.com/kevinlyfather and find us there. While you're there, hit the subscribe button and the little bell that pops up, and then you can get all the notifications. Ask your kid how it works, and we will get through this together. Mari, good to see you. If Mari only has a few minutes, then we better get going with this. Let's see. So I hope he puts the best lies first. It's all lies all the time with Trump. So let's get going.
Hopefully the approval process will go very quickly, and we think we have a winner there. We also think we have other companies right behind that are doing very well in the vaccines, long ahead of schedule.
I also remember when you were the only one in the credits, Stephanie, and I thought, hey, this is never going to work out. I just want to say I'm looking for somebody. Hi, Sarcasm. I'm looking for somebody in the credits. They're not here yet. Somebody yesterday was incredibly generous with the live stream, making it possible for me to keep doing this, and I appreciate that all. I hope that you all remember your generosity and find new and renewed generosity come October 3rd, when we are going to be doing a charity live stream for Books and Bricks, which is an organization in Kenya, one of the shithole countries, according to Trump, that sends kids to school, and some of them actually become teachers. I think it costs something like $360 a year to send a kid to college for a year in Kenya. And we need to come up with $45,000 for this school. October 3rd is going to be the day, not the school, but the organization. Their budget is $45,000. They usually raise that money sort of throughout the year, but mostly at a dinner that they have in West Seattle. Because of the coronavirus, they are unable to hold that dinner this year. And so they need another way to raise money. Most of the people that go to the church for the dinner are of the older generation. I don't know if they're going to be able to come through on the live stream. So I'm going to be depending on you, the people in the chat room, and you, the people at home that are watching that aren't in the chat room, to really step up on October 3rd and make it possible for all those kids to continue their education in Kenya, Africa. No, these are, my glasses come from the dollar store. It's actually, I usually buy them in Canada at the Looney store. So they're about 76 cents a piece. So no, these are not new. I've been living off. I can't go to Canada. Well, actually, I can go to Canada right now, but it's a major hassle getting through the border. I'm a Canadian citizen, so I'm both. I'm dual. So I can't. I can get into Canada, but I'm not even going to bother trying because they might decide that I can't. So I'm living with the 76-cent glasses that I have. Speaking of glasses, the drinking word today is going to be whenever Trump repeats himself. So prepare to get hammered. Here we go.
As part of Operation Warp Speed, this agreement will also ensure that we receive an additional 500 million doses shortly thereafter. This is another crucial step in our effort to develop, manufacture, and distribute a vaccine in record-breaking time, really a very small fraction of the time.
This is an inside joke for the Kevinly family. Yes, Lizzie Dog, Chris can almost buy me a half a pair of glasses. He bought me a monocle last month, so that's where that money goes.
Based on previous schedules, I want to thank the FDA. I want to thank everybody involved. It's been an incredible process. As discussed yesterday, the China virus poses the greatest threat.
I'm already pretty hammered, so I'm not. Yeah, there's a joke there of me being a bi citizen. That's one of my favorites. But I think it was at random who was telling me that it was getting old and I should never use it. So I didn't that time when I said I was a dual citizen. And right away, Chris Wilson and Casey picked up on it. And so enjoy, guys. Enjoy the joke. You see, at random, you give people what they want. I don't even think at random's watching right now. Let's move on.
To our senior citizens, as we all know, the median age for those who die from the virus is 78 years old, and nearly half of the deaths have occurred among those living in nursing homes or long-term care facilities. That's really something. In other words, approximately half of the fatalities have occurred among less than 1% of the U.S. population. So think of that, less than 1%, half of.
And half the fatalities have occurred in 99% of the U.S. population. Okay.
The fatalities. So we know what to look for. From the beginning, we have made it our top priority to shelter our seniors.
We do know what to look for, the coronavirus.
In March, we announced guidelines suspending all medically unnecessary visits to nursing homes and prioritized resources for those facilities. And we gave it a very strong priority.
We did not.
FEMA has sent shipments to many different locations of protective equipment, and it's going directly to 15,400 Medicaid and Medicare certified nursing homes throughout the country.
Good.
Today, I'd like to provide an update on the additional actions we've been able to take, and they've been very constructive. First, we're requiring increased.
Yeah, hold on. Kelly's asking about my opinion on something, and for whatever reason, I noticed. Okay, so Kelly wants to know, focusing so much of the on elder and nursing homes, he thinks he'll get their vote, but many of them are too old to drive to vote or have dementia. So most nursing homes, actually, a lot of them have, I don't know if it's most, a lot of them have voting booths, polls, right at the nursing home, so that people within the nursing home can vote. Those with dementia, I don't know, they can vote if they want to, I suppose. I don't know that there's any kind of restriction on that. I don't know what opinion you want from me on that. Is he... They didn't pay much attention to the nursing homes at all until I think it was early May when they started saying, like, look, they've been really hit hard. What they're doing with nursing homes now is better than it was, but again, we need at least 4 million tests a day, and we're doing 700,000. But yes, everybody who comes in and out of a nursing home should be tested, and like I was talking about yesterday, they are trying to get some of those Abbott Labs testing machines, the 5 to 15-minute machines, out to every nursing home, which should have happened long ago, but they're finally doing it, it appears. That being said, they also said in March that by the end of March, we'd have 20 million tests. So up in the air. Why is he focusing so much on the old? Because they are the most vulnerable to the coronavirus, and nursing homes, etc. That's where you find a lot of old people.
testing of the nursing
Plus, this is just a brag session, Kelly. This is they're actually doing something about the nursing homes now, and so they're going to brag about it.
home personnel in states where you had the worst outbreaks. All personnel will be tested at the highest level. We're distributing 15,000 rapid point-of-care diagnostic devices to support.
I don't know what the highest level is for testing. It's a test or not a test.
This effort. These are the tests where it takes 5 minutes to 15 minutes. They're very accurate. They're very good.
They're not accurate.
And we're sending them all over the country.
They have up to a 50% false positive rating.
And over 600 devices will be also shipped.
I'm lying. A false negative rating of up to 50%. So you could have it, still not register half the time on one of those Abbott tests.
This week to additional facilities. Second, HHS will be distributing an additional $5 billion from the Provider Relief Fund to all nursing homes. Nursing homes in higher risk areas will be receiving more funding. This money can be used to address critical needs, including the hiring of additional staff, increasing testing, and providing technology support so residents can connect their families, and they can connect to their families. They are having a tremendous time. They want to be with their loved ones. They can't do it. So what we're doing is
the people in the old folks home are having a tremendous time. He's got the best words.
We're working it so that we can connect, have them connect with their families if they're not able to visit. Third, we've been identifying especially high-risk nursing homes and sharing that information with the governors so that the governors and their staffs can take appropriate action. We're able to find, because of the testing programs and other means, we're able to find certain areas that are very high risk. The governors can then take action. Additionally, CMS, CDC, and the U.S. Public Health Service are providing enhanced technical assistance and support.
This is supposed to make people vote for Trump. All of this is supposed to make people vote for Trump, because if he loses, he gets charged. Probably goes to prison.
Including visits to the highest risk nursing homes, and that's their priority right now. Nursing homes, but the highest risk.
Some of this actually happened back at the beginning of May, late April, etc. Some of this has been happening all along with the states leading the way. But he's talking about it now because he wants to bring good news, things that he feels he's responsible for, although he's not responsible for anything. Good things. That's what he's going to talk about at these press conferences. Everything is working out. It's all working out.
Nursing homes. CMS and CDC are implementing a national training program focused on infection control for those nursing homes that need it most. And we have them surveyed, and we have them mostly pinpointed. Over the past few months, we've created a surveillance system to detect outbreaks, and currently 99% of all nursing homes are reporting directly to it. So we have great data. When a nursing home has 3 or more cases, we alert the state and make sure that it responds very quickly.
What, Dr. Howard, you were in a nursing home?
We check on it, make sure they respond very quickly. I want to send a message of support and hope to every senior citizen who has been dealing with the struggle of isolation in what should be the golden years of your life. We will get to the other end of that tunnel very quickly, we hope. The light is starting to shine. We will get there very quickly. But we send our love. We send a message of love. Very important. We're with you all the way. As far as the outbreak in the Sun Belt,
we can't be there, but we're with you all the way. We send a message of hope and love, and the light at the end of the tunnel just got turned on. So all this metaphorical mumbo jumbo.
I said yesterday we continue to vigorously combat the rise of cases in the South and Southwest and the West. We're closely monitoring and aggressively acting to control the infection in Texas, Arizona, California, Florida. Arizona is starting to come down. Done a very good job. They're all doing a good job. They're very talented people. There are likely a number of
all the states
causes.
are doing a very good job. Should we pull that chart up, my favorite chart, again? Yeah, all the states. They're all very talented people. All the states are doing a very, very good job. Green is good, red is bad. Maroon is terrible. they're all doing, everything is working out just fine.
For the spike in infections. Cases started to rise among young Americans shortly after demonstrations, which you know very well about, which presumably triggered a...
No evidence that the demonstrations started the rise in any of the cities. Again, the study of 315 cities found that the demonstrations and the protests did not lead to a rise anywhere. In fact, in Minneapolis, which had, of course, the beginning and the worst of the demonstrations, let's just say some of the worst demonstrations, because how do you classify that? COVID cases have dropped by half. New COVID cases, I should say. So it's just nonsense.
Broader relaxation of mitigation efforts.
Okay, here's where he's wrong
again. A number
again.
of causes for the spike in infections. Cases started to rise among young Americans shortly after demonstrations, which you know very well about, which presumably triggered a broader relaxation of mitigation efforts nationwide and a substantial increase in travel.
Okay, first off, I don't know what presumably is. Secondly, the protests didn't cause relaxation of standards anywhere. There wasn't a governor who was like, okay, you know what? We're going to open up the restaurants because there's been protests. Unless he's talking about the demonstrations of the people that didn't want the lockdowns, in which case, yeah, absolutely true. You know, all the ones with the guns who marched on Michigan. Yeah, I'm with them. You know what? I take it all back. Trump is absolutely correct. We're renaming this to the live stream with the V because he's telling the truth.
Also was a cause. Increased gathering on holidays such as Memorial Day, as well as young people closely congregating at bars and probably other places, maybe beaches, 4 or 5 different listed places. We have 12 that are listed on the guide, likely also contributed. We're also sharing a 2,000-mile border with Mexico, as we know very well, and cases are surging in Mexico, unfortunately. As with the president.
Pay attention here because he's blaming Mexico for the rise in cases in the U.S.
And it's a big problem for Mexico, but cases are surging very sharply and all across the rest of the Western Hemisphere. 257 miles of newly...
They're not surging all across the rest of the Western Hemisphere. Most countries in the Western Hemisphere are on the downturn. Canada, UK, Spain, France, Italy, Andorra, Portugal.
Constructed wall along the southern border has had a great positive impact on people coming in, and we have record low numbers of people coming in illegally. That's helped greatly. It was really meant for...
First off, not a record low number of people coming in. Secondly, remember Mexico's giving us the virus? But there's a record low number of people from Mexico coming in, so...
Different purpose, but it worked out very well for what we're doing right now and for the pandemic. Nationwide, beyond the outbreak in several states, cases remain low and very stable. 19 states are positive.
No, the cases are not low and stable. Well, that's not true. In some places they are. Let's take a look again. Nationwide, outside of the states... Stable, so we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 caution warranted states. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green states. So that leaves what? 38 states roughly? So outside of those 38 states, everyone's doing really, really great. Nobody has a low count. Not even Hawaii.
Positive test rates of less than 5%. 8 states have positive test rates of less than 2%.
Wait. He's giving us actual numbers
down
here.
For the pandemic. Nationwide, beyond the outbreak in several states, cases remain low and very stable. 19 states have positive test rates of less than 5%. 8 states have positive test rates of less than 2%. Our nationwide positive test rate is beginning.
You need to be at 1%, by the way. That's where you need to be actually controlling the virus. For the virus to be dying out, 1%.
To decline and is currently at 8.8% compared to over 16% at its peak in April. It's coming down. It's coming down fairly rapidly. Today, we surpassed, first time,
April, May, June, July, 3 months. That's fairly rapidly.
we surpassed 50 million tests. That's far more than any country in the world. India is second, we believe. We think.
I don't know. You guys keep talking about this couch. I don't see couch. For whatever reason on my feed, I don't see couch, whatever this couch troll is. And I'm sad, too, because I love the trolls.
1.4 billion people. That's about 12 million tests. We have 50 million tests. We're working with every state
Okay, he's wrong again
in
here.
the
We've
world.
talked about this a
India
bunch.
is second, we believe. We think.
No.
1.4 billion people. That's about 12 million tests. We have 50 million tests. We're working with every state to ensure the supply of remdesivir for early case intervention and steroid treatment and various other.
He said India has 12. It has almost 15. And Russia is second with 25 million, 25 and a half. So, and China's first.
Other treatments for those that are seriously ill. We're working very closely with hospitals, doctors, nursing homes, everybody. The remdesivir has proven to be terrific.
Yeah,
Our case fatality rate continues to decline, and we want to push this rate even lower. The therapeutic research continues daily on new and very promising treatments, including antibody treatments and the use of blood thinners and steroids. A lot of different things are happening, and a lot of things are coming out that we wouldn't have known a number of months ago. We're doing tremendously well on
You know, before the disease existed.
therapeutic research and tremendously well on the vaccines. And frankly, therapeutically, or maybe a word even beyond that word is cure, would be the best of all, and we'll see what happens. But that would be great if we could go into the hospital and just cure people. And
That would be great. We don't cure viruses, but yeah, that'd be super great. If there were just corona fairies at the hospital that could just ding you with their magic wand and suddenly manufacturing jobs would come back.
At a position where we're actually able to a certain extent, with what we have right now, and we think that in a very short period of time we'll be able to do that.
No.
Our strategy is to shelter the highest risk Americans while allowing younger and healthier citizens to return to work or school while being careful and very vigilant. Wear a mask, socially distance, and repeatedly wash your hands. Practice very, very good sanitary means. You have to do this. You have to you have to look at it differently. Wash your hands often. I'm finding more and more people are saying wash your hands. So
Wow.
wash your hands. We want young
More and more.
Americans
More and more people are saying, wash your hands. How did this man get elected?
to avoid packed bars and other crowded indoor gatherings, and we're all in this together. And as Americans, we're going to get this complete. We're going to do it properly. We've been doing it properly. Sections of the country come up that we didn't anticipate, for instance, Florida, Texas, etc. But we're working with very talented people, very brilliant people, and it's all going to work out, and it is working out. So with that, I'll take a few questions, please. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, I just want to ask you a question about these.
Again, it's all working out because of talented people. 140,000 dead Americans, and it's all working out. It's all roses. A rose by any other name would be 150,000 dead people.
Surge of federal agents to
How come I can't see the QAnon idiot? You guys are all talking to the QAnon, and I don't see him.
various cities.
Yeah.
The mayor of Chicago just said moments ago that you're doing this to divert attention from your failures on coronavirus. You are only targeting
We
cities.
haven't had that failure.
Hold on, guys. I want to pinpoint this. Who is seeing the trolls? Is that on YouTube, or where are we seeing that? Because let's see, Stephanie, you're on YouTube, and I'm not seeing any trolls today. And honestly, I kind of miss them. The more they troll, by the way, if you're watching and you're a troll, or QAnon or whatever, first off, all right. Secondly, you're making money for me by tweeting, so please continue.
Are only targeting cities, though, run by Democrats. Is this just a
Oh, wait, is this Benjamin guy? Benjamin. Oh, okay. Let's see. When impeachment failed, then coronavirus was born to force mail-in voting. No, the coronavirus came out before impeachment. Your own Dems released coronavirus. It was released in China before impeachment, and impeachment didn't fail until February 6th, when the Republicans voted the conviction down, and the coronavirus, Trump had already blocked China, remember, on February 2nd, which he said was January 31st. So how could the Dems release the coronavirus after Trump had already blocked flights from China? Why did Trump block flights from China? Was he trying to send a message that the Dems were going to release it? It all makes sense now. Thank you, Benjamin.
political stunt?
Yeah, the cities, unfortunately, that are in trouble are all run by Democrats. You have radical left Democrats running cities like Chicago and so many others that we just had a news conference. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. I mean, that's the facts. When you look at Chicago and you look at the job, Mayor Light.
Not really sure what happened there, so give me a second. Let me see. Usually YouTube TV just shoots me right into the next program, and we will make that happen. That would be special report. And here we go with the rest of the broadcast. Okay, go ahead. There we
Working
go.
with very talented people, very brilliant people, and it's all going to work out, and
Okay,
it is
so let's go
working.
ahead here.
When you look at Chicago and you look at the job, Mayor Lightfoot sent me a letter yesterday, and I think in their own way they want us to go in.
Benjamin, abortion has been ruled constitutional. So if you don't like the United States, I'm sorry. You're welcome to leave. Wait, you can't because nobody will let you in. You're kind of stuck right now, Benjamin. Sorry.
There'll be a time when they're going to want us to go in full blast, but right now we're sending extra people to help. We're arresting a lot of people that have been very bad. As far as the coronavirus, as you say, I think we've done some amazing things, and I think you'll probably see that if you compare our statistics to other countries, and if you look at death rates, et cetera, you're going to see, and especially into the future with what's happening, you're going to see some very, very impressive numbers for the United States. John, please. Go ahead, John.
Mr. President, do you plan
4.2% of the population of the planet, 25% of the deaths. That's impressive. Tremendous. We're having a tremendous time with the coronavirus. Just tremendous.
to do a national strategy to help schools reopen?
Oh, Marcy, earlier, I didn't get a chance to comment on this. Marcy cracked a joke. At Random riffed on the Wizard of Oz joke. And I gave At Random credit because I didn't see that Marcy had first. So everybody say ha ha, Marcy, in a chat room for Marcy, so she feels good about her Wizard of Oz joke. Speaking of Wizards of Odd.
And reopen safely. And regarding the children in your family, your son, your grandchildren, are you comfortable? Do you plan to have them back in person in school?
Yeah,
this
well, I
fall?
am comfortable with that. And we do have a national strategy, but as you know, ultimately it's up to the governors of the states. I think most governors.
We do have a national strategy, but ultimately it's up to the governors. That's sort of our strategy. That's what he just said. He just said the national strategy is to have the governors make the decisions. That's the plan, everybody.
Many governors want the schools to open. I would like to see the schools open, especially when you see statistics like this. We have great statistics and on young people and on safety. So we would like to see schools open. We want to see the economy open. We just had a report literally as I walked in that we set an all-time record on housing price increases, up, I think they said 21%, which is a record that's never happened before. That's a great sign. We have an economy that's going to be booming. It's going to be a lot of jobs are being produced. The job numbers will be coming out shortly, meaning over the next week or so, and I think it'll be a continuation of the last 2 months. The last 2 months have been incredible. So I think we're going to have a great economy. You're going to have a fantastic next year. I think you're going to have a very good third quarter, actually, when the third quarter numbers come out. Interestingly, they'll be announced just before the election. They'll be announced.
Yeah, so the reason the housing prices went up in June was because, A, there's no inventory, because construction stopped on houses when the coronavirus came around, and Trump didn't test everybody, so we had to shut down the nation. So there's very few houses out there. That drives up the prices. Plus, you've got historically low mortgage rates because the economy has cratered. So go ahead and refi right now. Good time to do it. Thanks, coronavirus.
Around November 1st. So, yeah, I would like to see the schools open 100%, and we'll do it safely, we'll do it carefully. But when you look at the statistics I just read having to do with children and safety, they're very impressive. They have very strong immune systems.
But you would understand that the children.
Children do not have strong immune systems, and I don't know why any of the reporters in there don't correct them on that. This is a virus where the immune system will attack the virus, and sometimes that includes the organs of the host itself. So the immune system ends up killing the person in something called a cytokine storm. The other thing about the housing increase, it is a record. So that might be the first time that Trump has actually been correct when he says it's a record, because they just started keeping home sales. But on the other hand, you don't want housing prices to go up 20%, almost 21% in 1 month. That doesn't do much for affordability.
Children who go to school, then go back to home, they're with, some live with their grandparents,
Sure.
there's a real risk. Would you understand if some
Well, they
schools...
do say that they don't transmit very easily, and a lot of...
Benjamin, Black Lives Matter is not about not supporting cops. Good cops are good. Good cops are very, very good. Benjamin, if you wouldn't mind denouncing bad cops, I think we can come to an agreement, because I don't like bad cops. I do not like them, Benjamin, I am.
People are saying they don't transmit, and we're looking at that. We're studying, John, very hard, that particular subject, that they don't bring it home with them. Now, they don't catch it easily. They don't bring it home easily. And if they do catch it...
Benjamin, they're not my protesters, and if you tuned in before, I keep telling people to stop the protests. So, that being said, the protesters have not contributed to the coronavirus spread. That's a study that's been done in 315 cities, Democratic and Republican. And if you look at some of the largest protests, the cities that they're in have not seen an increase in the coronavirus. There is no connection that could be found between the two.
They get better fast. We're looking at that fact. That is a factor, and we'll...
Yeah, can we all just pause here? Benjamin, I like to come to an agreement. Benjamin, would you please denounce bad cops? Just all you have to say is, I hate bad cops. Anytime. We're just pausing everybody here. Benjamin is in the chat room. Everybody can see him over there. And Benjamin is I'm assuming, doesn't like the bad cops, because bad cops kill people, black and white. BLM marches with assault weapons. Yes, BLM has the Second Amendment as well. If you don't like the Second Amendment, Benjamin, again, you can't leave. There's nowhere you can. The Bahamas, you can go. No, they blocked us yesterday. Is there any country that's still letting Americans? Somewhere in Libya, Benjamin? Anyway, Benjamin, would you like to denounce bad cops? If you're pro bad cops, I don't think we can come to an arrangement. But Benjamin, just waiting on you here. Can you please denounce bad cops? Is he not? Denounce BLM as a terrorist organization. It's not. It's barely an organization. But can you please denounce bad cops? I really don't think. Can you please denounce cops who kill unarmed people? How about that? We won't even call them bad. Can you please denounce cops that put their knee on someone's neck, someone who's accused of passing a counterfeit bill, something we've all done without knowing it? Put their knee on this man's neck for 9 minutes, 3 minutes of which he was unresponsive for. Can we just no? You can't even denounce murderers. Benjamin, can you just denounce murderers? Just, that's what we're asking. Can we come to a little bit of, can we as humans come together in a common understanding of murder being a bad thing? No, cops aren't the only one answering 911 calls. There's also ambulances, medical workers, paramedics. There's lots of people answering 911 calls, Benjamin. Okay, you're starting to look like a little bit of an idiot here, so I might have to give up. Cops are the only one answering 911 calls. Oh my God. That has got to be, that might be, guys, that might be the stupidest thing anyone has said in the chat room as of yet. So, Benjamin, do us a favor here. Just say, I don't like cops who murder people. How about that? We won't even classify them as good or bad. Benjamin, what can you say that? I don't like murderers. That's all. Or murdering people upsets me. If you're pro-murder, then let us know. Yeah. Only cops respond to that. Benjamin, I doubt you're even in this country, because that is not the way that the 911 system works at all. I've called the 911 system and nice paramedics came to me, not cops. Wow. And that is a Trump supporter right there in a nutshell.
Looking at that very strongly. We'll be reporting about that over the next week. Please.
Mr. President, at least 3 governors today came out with new orders on mask requirements.
Yeah.
Is that something you wish all the governors would do?
Well, a lot of the governors, they have different requirements. Some of the governors are very strong on masks, others aren't. I think it's really going to ultimately be up to them. We've given them the facts. We've given them everything we know. They have their own facts. Some are strong on masks, and as you know, some aren't in the same ballpark. But I think all are suggesting if you want to wear a mask, you wear it. I bring one. I have one. I've worn it. And I think when I'm in certain settings like hospitals and or when I'm close, when you can't socially distance, I believe in it. Let's see, do I? I do. I have it. And if in certain instances, I think you really, I think you want to travel.
Holds it up like a Bible. Oh, you guys can't see it. There's my face mask. See? Right there, my face cup. Jealous?
With a mask. There are instances where you really can use it. I would believe it would be a good thing. Yeah,
Sir,
please.
one just follow-up. D.C. Mayor Bowser came out with such an order today. It, of course, doesn't apply to federal properties, but would you encourage federal properties, and including the White House complex, to follow the order?
We're gonna make a decision over
Put it on, Kev, was the thing I heard most the night that I worked at Chippendales.
the next 24 hours. We'll let you know what that decision is. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
President Trump, do you agree with Senate Republicans discussing the possibility of extending short-term unemployment insurance today so that they prevent benefits from expiring?
Well, I think a lot of politicians are discussing that, Republicans, Democrats, and right now a lot of
What
my
about you?
representatives
The
are on the
question
Hill.
was
They're
for you.
discussing CARES Act or Phase 4, whatever you want to call it. And I think ultimately something good will come out of it. The economy is starting to really come back strongly when you look at the numbers, even with the fact that, like, California is still closed up in many big states. I think the numbers are even more impressive considering that some states, like California, big ones, are pretty well shut down. So we expect to have something over a period of time, over the appropriate period of time.
Thank you very much. These 2 questions are with Andrew Feinberg and J.C. Bua. One is, today you said you're sending federal law enforcement officers to run cities run by extreme politicians, that's the word you used, who happen to be all Democrats, who have supported Black Lives Matter protests.
I didn't say who
voted.
supported. No, I said Democrat politicians. And these are the cities where you have the problem. If you look at Chicago, if you look at Detroit, look around any of these cities where we have the problems. And we're sending them help, but we're really waiting for them to call for the big help, for the big numbers, for the large numbers of people that we have ready, willing, and able. You look at Chicago, where 14 people were shot yesterday, where over the weekend many people died and many people were shot, and over
This is where he's going to call for gun control.
the last month, they're setting record numbers. We are waiting for the mayor, respectfully, and other mayors and governors to call us. We are ready, willing, and able to go in there with great force. Now, We
great
also have
force.
people that are going in and arresting drug dealers, arresting some of the shooters that are doing the shooting. We know who they are. We're working with police forces, and even though
Well, you know who the shooters are, but you're not sharing that information with the local police? Jesus Christ, man.
in some cases they're told don't work with the federal government,
By the way, the last time I read an article about what's going on in Portland with the feds finding people not necessarily right by the federal buildings and accosting them and kidnapping them basically and then questioning them, everybody's been released. When I read the article that I read said no one is actually being held by the federal officers. So I don't know about this whole knowing who the shooters are.
police forces have great respect for the federal government, what we do. But we're ready, willing, and able to go into these cities that are just being decimated with shooting, and we're going to help. Please.
I have a question on crime, but first, I don't think we really got an explanation yesterday on why the health experts are no longer joining you at these briefings. Can you explain why?
Because they're briefing me, I'm meeting them. I just spoke to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Birx is right outside, and they're giving me all of everything they know as of this point in time, and I'm giving the information to you, and I think it's probably a...
They're giving him everything that they know. Both of those doctors are giving him everything that they know at this point in time. The follow-up question here should be, can you tell us why the positivity rate in Nevada is climbing? How many deaths did we have in such and such a place yesterday? What positivity rate are we trying to get to as a nation? Questions like that he can't answer.
Very concise way of doing it. It seems to be working out very well.
Okay, so on
But
crime...
they're very much involved. They're
One of these, and it seems to be working out very well.
very much...
Yeah, well, you know why? Because of all of the every single news show out there was saying, oh, a new tone. It was a new tone for President Trump. Oh, the president came out today with a new tone. And he took that as huge compliment.
With the relationships are all very good. All very good. The relationships that we have with the doctors, with everybody working on the virus has been, I think, extraordinary. Kaylee's here, and I think you would say the same thing. You work with them all the time. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So on crime, in 2016, you said it was President Obama's fault that homicides were up in Chicago.
He did.
So why was it the president's fault then, but it's not your fault now?
Chicago is a disaster. The mayor is saying, don't come in. The mayor is telling us not to come in. At some point, we can void that if we have to, but we may have to at some, because it's out of control. I assume she's saying that for political reasons. I think it's negative political reasons.
Still is no justification, even under the Insurrection Act, for Trump going into Chicago, unless somehow they can justify that the shooters in South Chicago are attacking the federal buildings or statues. It's not federal property.
She's a Democrat. I'm going to be nice. She's a Democrat. She's making a big mistake. People are dying in Chicago and other cities, and we can solve the problem. They have to ask us, but we can solve the problem.
Why was it President Obama's fault in 2016? You credited it as
Because
him
President
being
Obama was invited in, and he did a poor job.
No, President Obama was not invited to bring federal forces to Chicago. That never happened. And Caitlin did a great job with the questioning here, except that she didn't follow up on that because she can't. I already watched this. Trump goes right on to the next question. And Caitlin's usually really good about getting under Trump's skin, but not today. He's so happy with himself for how he did yesterday by reading from the paper.
President Obama could have gone into Chicago. He could have solved the problem, and he didn't. In our case, they don't want us in. We can solve the problem very easily. We're equipped with the best equipment, the best people, and you see what we're doing. I mean, Portland was coming down. It was busting at the seams, and we went in and protected all the federal buildings. Those federal buildings are
Portland was busting at the seams. There's some graffiti.
totally protected. And we had to do that. And Portland's a very different place than Chicago. But Chicago should be calling us, and so should Philadelphia and Detroit and others, to go in and really help them. Because when you're losing many people a weekend, many people, you see the same numbers as I do. When you're losing these people, they should call us and they should say, come on in. And it's incredible to me, but they're not doing it. At some point they will. At some point we may have no other choice but to go in. Jeff, please.
Mr. President, are you looking at closing further Chinese embassies in the United States? And did you ask Ambassador Woody Johnson to bring the British Open to your Turnberry property in Scotland?
No, I never spoke to Woody Johnson about that, about Turnberry. Turnberry is a highly respected course, as you know, one of the best in the world. And I read a story about it today, and I never spoke to Woody Johnson about doing that. No. As far as closing additional embassies, it's always possible. You see what's going on. We thought there was a fire in the one that we did close, and everybody said there's a fire, and I guess they were burning documents or burning papers, and I wonder what that's all about. Okay, how about one or two?
Well, when you close an embassy, it's their job to destroy the papers. That's what happens. It's consulate, actually. That's what happened with the Russian consulate in San Francisco that Trump did order closed in 2017. It was 2017 or 2018. It was early on. Same thing with the one in Seattle, and the news channels covered all the smoke coming out of the chimneys at the Russian consulate because that's their job. And when the Americans close a consulate, that's exactly what they do as well. When businesses close, businesses have incinerators. You get rid of paperwork, whether that be privileged information having to do with customers or classified information having to do with espionage. What, like the fact that something like that grabs his attention, and then you ask the question about it. That's how conspiracies work. That the question should be asked: what was the smoke coming from? Everyone thought it was on fire, but why was there smoke?
Two more, please.
Yes, thank you. Would you like to respond to Joe Biden, who today described you might have heard that, as the first racist to be elected president? That was his words.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we did criminal justice.
But Biden did call him the first racist to be elected president. There have been many, many, many racist presidents.
Reform. We passed criminal justice reform, something that Obama and Biden were unable.
I think the most recent you could say was Reagan, who used the N-word in the Oval Office.
Able to do. We did opportunity cities. We did the greatest. If you look at what we've done with opportunity zones, nobody's ever even thought of a plan like that. Prior to the China plague coming into our country and really doing terrible things all over the world, doing terrible things. We had the best African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, almost every group was the best for unemployment. The unemployment numbers were the best. You look at employment.
That helps the economy. That doesn't necessarily make you not a racist. In the early 1800s, just about every African American had a job. They were slaves, but they had something to do to help the economy. Just because there's low unemployment for some minorities doesn't mean that you're not a racist. The two are not the same thing. Trump doesn't understand that, but the two are not the same thing.
You look at opportunity zones, and maybe most importantly...
Hold on, everybody. Allison sliced her finger while she was slicing a banana, so let's all just pause. Send her our thoughts and prayers. Allison, we lift up your finger to the Lord for healing in this time of grief. Really, I can't. I don't think I can go on right now, guys. Allison, are you okay? Just tell us just type with one hand. Just one letter. Just K. But not K for Kevin, which is usually how I interpret that. Just the letter K. Let us know you're okay. Send up a signal somehow, if you could. She's not responding, guys. I think she's probably dead. Yeah, Chris, can you get on the phone, please? Does anybody know where Allison lives? Let's call 911 and make oh, wait, only the police come when you call 911. Damn it. Kelly's okay, though. So, yeah, she's probably bled out now. She's probably passed out on the ground. This is sad, folks. This is really... It's a national travesty, but you know what? We have a lot of talented people here, and it's all working out. So I feel good about it. You're killing me. She's talking to her hand, obviously. The lack of blood in her body
You
has
look
made
at
her
criminal
woozy.
justice reform. You look at prison reform. I've done things that nobody else, and I've said this, and I say it openly, and not a lot of people dispute it. I've done more for black Americans than anybody, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. No.
Lyndon B. Johnson passed, and he doesn't say any president. He says anybody, especially, you know who we should be upset with is that Harriet Tubman. That's what I heard the other day. More and more things coming out about her. Lyndon B. Johnson passed the Civil Rights Act, but let's go back. I don't think he even says president.
Prison reform. I've done things that nobody else, and I've said this, and I say it openly, and not a lot of people dispute it. I've done more for black Americans than anybody, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln.
Anybody.
Nobody has even been close.
Nobody.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
What's funny is after he did this, I was flipping around the news stations while I was unloading the dishwasher, apropos of nothing, and everyone was talking about how, you know, all the presidents. What about Lyndon B. Johnson? What about so and so? What about this? What about Grover? Blah blah blah. He didn't say presidents. He said anybody. He's done more for black Americans than anybody. All those civil rights worker, all the, oh, come on, Kevin. John Lewis, who just passed away, who walked across the Selma Bridge, the Edmund Pettus. I can remember Edmund Pettus, but it was, come on, guys, help me. John Lewis. I got it right. Okay. Yeah. More than anybody. More than anybody. John Lewis, let's be honest, close second. Possibly third with the exception of Abraham Lincoln. But that's just the kind. Look at this face. Look at this face. Anytime I'm on the stream, it's jerky, Dr. Howard. Yeah, so I don't know. We're jerking out here, guys. I can see I'm frozen on that side. And there's someone to deliver some packages to me or something. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great time.